right. Well, this is um very, very long time coming. Very sentimental moment for me because this is the last lesson. Well, this is the last section um, out of the Judah section. So, pretty much everything that I know about Negroes, Black people, African Americans, everything that I know, I have told you. I was debating on whether I was gonna come back and do another video or not, but I'm like, no, let's just go ahead and get this out the way. But I am so grateful that I was able to come and drop this knowledge. Um, I'm grateful. So I'm definitely thankful to the Most High. Thankful to you. Thank you for your support, for your love, for your prayers. Definitely appreciate, the donations that I have received. Not asking nobody for nothing. But, I do appreciate the love. I do appreciate, um, you know, the people that hit my inbox wishing me a happy birthday. My birthday was what? It was June 25th. So a few weeks ago. But I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful that I am able to do this last little section, and we're gonna kick it off with my boy Hannibal Barca. Have you ever heard about Hannibal Barca? I know they didn't teach you this in public school. I know they did. And if they did, you probably weren't paying attention. But that's okay, because they wasn't teaching it. They don't want you to know about Hannibal Barca. Hannibal Barca being black. They don't want you to know your history beyond slavery. So, and at the end of this video, yeah, we're gonna be talking about some of the scandals that's going on in the Black Christian Church with these so-called apostles, these self-proclaimed apostles. So, hang in for that. But now, who is Hannibal Barca? The real origins of the name Africa. Africa, the motherland, as some may say. Africa is a beautiful place full of resources that other nations try to take advantage of. Africa has always been considered a second home to our ancestors who dwelt there, beginning with our first forefather, Abraham. It seems as if we are always running to Africa because of famine. Genesis 12, verse 10. And there was a famine in the land, and Abram went down into Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was grievous in the land. Joseph also dwelt in the land of Ham. As I previously told you the story, Joseph's brothers were going to kill him at first, but they decided on selling him to Ishmael, the Arabs, instead. He eventually became second in command in the house of the Pharaoh, king of Egypt, a Hamite, through the wisdom that the Heavenly Father blessed him with. He even saved his family from starving. I always say, he is a better man than me, because baby. Genesis 41, starting with verse 38. And Pharaoh said unto his servants, Can we find such a one as this, a man in whom the Spirit of God is? And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, For as much as God hath showed thee all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art. Thou shalt be over my house, and according unto thy word shall all my people be ruled. Only in the throne will I be greater than thou. Although our relationship throughout history with the nation of Ham have been filled with many wars and alliances, Africa has always been a place of refuge for our people in times past. We have always been able to run to Africa and disappear. We have always been able to blend in, making it difficult to be distinguished because we look alike even though we are not the same people. From 70 souls to a dynasty of Hebrews. When Joseph became ruler in Egypt, this began a time period of our people ruling Egypt. We were known as the Hyksos, or the Shepherd Kings, or Habiru, a real dynasty. Just as the examples are shown above, the nation of Ham were not always enemies to our people, only when the Lord sent them against us. Even Joseph, when Herod tried to destroy Christ at his birth, fled with Mary and Christ into our second home, which is today called Africa. If Africa were considered enemy territory during the birth of Christ, the Lord would not have told Joseph to flee into Africa for refuge there. We normally don't have a problem with them, but they hate us. Excuse the noise. I mean, it is, almost 11 o'clock at night, and people don't know how to control their kids, So, yeah, I have no kids. I have no roommates, no nothing, but if you do hear that, that's because they allow kids to run up and down the hallways. People don't know how to control their kids. Matthew 2, verse 13. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise and take the young child and his mother, and flee into Egypt, and be thou there until I bring thee word. For Herod will seek the young child to destroy him. And so that's another reason why I read at night sometimes, because during the daytime, well, one, I do work, but during the daytime, it's a lot of kids running up and down the hall. School is not in. We have maybe a month or so, maybe a month or two before school gets back in, thank God. But yeah, so that's why I read at night, because normally that does not happen. But every now and then, But anyway, we have been refugees in Africa ever since our ancestors fled into Africa, fleeing from the Roman siege of Jerusalem in 70 AD. I know. I spoke about this multiple times already, but some things bear repeating. Africa has been a refuge many times for our ancestors, so much that we labeled it a second home. We have a strong connection to the land. We dwelt in Africa somewhere in between 1,300 to 1,485 years until the transatlantic slave trade began by the will of the Father. During the years that we dwelt there, we were not at war with Ham the whole time. They knew that we were not the same bloodline because we carried our customs and our cultures with us. They allowed us to be refugees and sojourn in the land of Ham once again as refugees. The reason why I give the time frame of 1,300 to 1,485 years is due to the different points in time that the different invasions started. Invasions that Ham took part in when they would give the enemies our location or help them capture us. invasions like the Arab slave trade in the mid 7th century CE, it's around the 650s, and the transatlantic slave trade, which would occur later on in the late 15th century. That's like 1451 to the 1500s. Ham sold us out for guns and ammo. Esau didn't pursue my ancestors like how the USA allegedly tracked down Osama bin Laden or Gaddafi. You know, it was more of a cat and mouse or hunter and prey type ordeal. They would invade, we would flee. Then they would find us and invade again, and then we would flee. Keep in mind, the technology they had at that time is not the same as the technology that we have today. Another reason is because the rest of our people still to this day remain in Africa. As you can see from what I have been teaching, we have a strong connection to Africa with more history there than we have here in America. My beautiful black Negro men and women, I have taught you that our home is in Israel. We are not Africans. Negroes, we come from Shem, which makes us Semitic. We are Israelites. Now that I have gotten that marvelous introduction out the way, it's on to the lesson. This lesson is about how the continent of Africa was said to be named by a white Roman general by the name of Publius Cornelius Scipio Africanus. He obtained the surname Africanus when he defeated Hannibal Barca in the Second Punic War at the Battle of Zama around 202 BC. Subsequently, he renamed what was then the continent of Ham, Ethiopia, to the name Africa. And I've already kind of, in the last video, if you watched the last video, I kind of already hit on this. And so, but here we are. Remember, Africa was once called Ethiopia, and the Atlantic Ocean was once called the Ethiopian Sea. Epher was the grandson of Abraham through Abraham's fourth son, Midian, and that's who the name Africa comes from. Yes, the name Africa derives from a man named Epher, or Ophrin. These sons that came from Abraham were born from Abraham's second wife, named Keturah, which he married after Sarah, his first wife, died. And I'm going to go to Genesis 25. Okay. Genesis 25, verse 1. Then again, Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah, too. And she bare him Zimran, and Jokshan, and Medan, and Midian. So it was, I said Midian on the last one, because I think that was in the book of, it was in the book of Enoch or the book of Joshua, one of the two. But that was on the last video, but it was Midian, and Ishbak, and Shua, 3. And Jokshan begat Sheba and Dedan, and the sons of Dedan were Ashurim, and Letushim, and Laamim. And the sons of Midian, Ephath, and Epher, and Hanok, and Abida, and El Eldai. Eldai. All these were the children of Keturah. Keturah girl, you definitely and that's the thing. Um, White folks they always want to refer to like black women as Shanae and stuff like that, but actually, look, Keturah. I, a black girl would name herself that today, but actually, that was one of your ancestors' names. We must first start with Abraham's son Midian in order to prove the origins of the name Africa. As you continue to read on, you will discover that Hannibal Barca is a descendant from Midian through Epher, which is Midian's son. Although Midian was a Hebrew because he was from Abraham's seed, Midian did not become a nation that can be traced or identified today. Midian never populated into a nation of people like Ishmael, who are the Arabs, Esau, who are the cave dwellers, Caucasians, and Israel, who are the Negroes, natives, and Latinos. The people who came from Midian only grew into a clan or a large dynasty. The Midianites were allies with our people at times. When I taught you about Moses recently, I told you how Moses even sought refuge among the Midianites after he fled from Pharaoh for killing an Egyptian. Exodus 2, verse 11. And it came to pass in those days when Moses was grown that he went out unto his brethren and looked on their burdens, and he spied an Egyptian smiting an Hebrew, one of his brethren. And he looked this way and that way, and when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. And when he went out the second day, behold, two men of the Hebrews strove together, and he said to him that did the wrong, wherefore smitest thou thy fellow? And he said, who made thee a prince and a judge over us? Intendest thou kill me as thou killedst the Egyptian? And Moses feared and said, surely this thing is known. Now when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moses. But Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt in the land of Midian. And he sat down by a well. Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came and drew water and filled the troughs to water their father's flock. And the shepherds came and drove them away, but Moses stood up and helped them and watered their flock. And when they came to Reuel, their father, he said, how is it that ye are come so soon today? And they said, an Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds, and also drew water enough for us, and watered the flock. And he said unto his daughters, and where is he? Why is it that ye have left the man? Call him, that he may eat bread. And Moses was content to dwell with the man, and he gave Moses Zipporah his daughter, and she bare him a son, and he called his name Gershom, for he said, I have been a stranger in a strange land. Haven't we all? Moses was mistaken for an Egyptian man by the Midianite women, who would have been related to the Hebrews also through Abraham. This scripture proves that Moses was a dark-skinned man, unlike you may have been taught on Sunday by Pastor Pochop and Deacon Freakums. Egyptians are dark-skinned people. This proves that Abraham and the Midianites were also people with melanin in their skin. This is important to know because Esau's scholars, seminary theologian, claimed that Hannibal Barca was a Caucasian man, just like they claim Egyptians and Israelites are white. And we know that's a lie. It's really silly because the sun proves otherwise. The sun always, man, the sun be messing them up. That's why they get all kind of skin burns. Then they want to talk about they control Egypt and they control Israel. No, you're not. The sun proves otherwise. As you read on, you will see that Hannibal Barca was a descendant of the Midianites through Ephor, which are people with dark skin like the Hebrews. Exodus 11, verse 7. But against any of the children, but against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how that the Lord doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. Mm. Egyptians are known for being dark-skinned people. You can see proof of this in the archaeology that hasn't been tampered with. I have even shown you some of this archaeology. Hebrews are also melanated people, which can be proven through archaeology that I have shown as well. But there is a difference in the spirit of an Israelite and a Hamite. To prove the origins of the word Africa, this excerpt is from a book called the Josephus. In his writings, he clearly states that the origins of the word Africa derived from Ephor, which was the son of Midian. They were the son and grandson of Abraham. The word Ophren is the Greek translation of the word Ephor in his writings. Josephus was an Israelite historian who lived around the time of the Roman siege of Jerusalem, and that was in 70 AD. So he lived right around the time. Like he literally lived about 40 years. Maybe, no, I would say about maybe 35 to 40 years after Christ was crucified. That's when this guy was living. So he has a lot of good work, the Josephus. The Antiquity of the Jews, Book 1, Chapter 15. Flavius Josephus, translated by William Whiston. Abraham, after this, married Keturah, by whom 6 sons were born to him. Oh, it was the Josephus that I read on the last. It wasn't the book of Joshua or the book of Enoch. It was the Josephus. I read this. Abraham, after this, married Keturah, by whom 6 sons were born to him, men of courage and of sagacious minds, Zambran and Jazar and Madan and Madian, but it's Midian. It's really Midian. And Josabak and Sus. Now, the sons of Sus were Sabathan and Dadan. The sons of Dadan were Latusim and Asur and Luam. The sons of Madian or Midian were Aphaz, Ophren, and Anak, and Abidas, and Eldas. Now, for all these sons and grandsons, Abraham contrived to settle them in colonies, and they took possession of Troglodytis and the country of Arabia the Happy, as far as it reaches to the Red Sea. It is related of this Ophren that he made war against Libya and took it, and that his grandchildren, when they inhabited it, called it from his name Africa. And I give you the link to where you can find this at. A lot of Africans don't even know this information. Ophrin is synonymous with the word Africa. Josephus also proves how the man named Africa and his people migrated to the same region that Hannibal Barca ruled, which was Libya, aka Carthage. During that time, the region of Libya, aka Carthage, was the only region that was named Africa after the man named Africa. So, the name Africa started off being tied to a region and would later become the name of the whole continent. The rest of the continent was still known as the land of Ham until approximately 201 BC during the rise of the Roman Empire, which conquered the entire known world. Hannibal Barca was a Median general of Carthage and Zama. He became the greatest enemy of the Roman Empire. He almost overthrew Rome on top of an army of elephants that he would ride into battle. Publius Cornelius Scipio conquered Hannibal Barca, who was from the region of Africa, and added the title Africa to his own name as a surname. Afterwards, he renamed the entire continent of Ham Africa to commemorate his victory. I know you didn't think that Mayo came up with something on their own. Mm-mm. As you can see with this big ugly bill, the only thing they know how to do is destroy. Okay, and here's his biography. Oh, and the person who let all the immigrants in, they look more like them, but that's neither here nor there. Biography: Scipio Africanus Publius Cornelius Scipio Africanus, 236 through 183 BC, also known as Scipio the African, Scipio Africanus Major, Scipio Africanus the Elder, and Scipio the Great, was a Roman general and later consul who was often regarded as one of the greatest generals and military strategists of all time. His main achievements were during the Second Punic War, where he is best known for defeating Hannibal at the final battle of Zama in 202 BC. One of the feats that earned him the agnomen Africanus. Prior to this battle, near modern Zama, Tunisia, Scipio also conquered Carthage's holdings in the Iberian Peninsula, culminating in the Battle of Elipa near Alcalá del Rio, Spain, in 206 BC against Hannibal's brother Margo Barca Scipio. Scipio returned to a hero's welcome in Rome in 201 BC due to his triumphs in Africa. He was awarded the title Africanus. He was elected consul for a second time in 194 BC. And I give you the link here for that. https www.biography.com, and you'll see the rest when I show you. Africanus was not an original part of Publius Cornelius Scipio's name. It was added as an agnomen name after he defeated Hannibal Barca at the Battle of Zama. Here's the definition of the word agnomen. Merriam-Webster's Dictionary. Agnomen. An additional cognomen given to a person by the ancient Romans as in honor of some achievement. Other forms: plural agnomina, Latin irregular from AD plus nomen name dash more at name first used 1665. Now here's the definition of the word cognomen for clarity. Okay, cognomen for clarity. Let me see. Cognomen, cognomen, cognomen. Noun, one, surname, especially the third of usually three names borne by a male citizen of ancient Rome. Compare nomen, praenomen to name, especially a distinguishing nickname or epithet. The name Africa derived from a Midianite descendant of Abraham. In retrospect, to be called African doesn't apply to neither Hamitic or Negro people as a nationality. Although Hannibal Barca was a Hebrew, he was not a Hebrew Israelite. Neither was he Caucasian, Esau, or a descendant of Ham. Hannibal Barca was a Hebrew Midianite, and the continent of the land of Ham was renamed approximately 201 BC to Africa by a white Roman general by the name of Publius Cornelius Scipio, who added Africanus to his name, and so he named the rest of the land mass Africa. But there was already a region that was named Africa. It went from being a region to the name of a whole continent. So hopefully you learned something. So Africa comes from Ephor. Okay. Psalms 137:6, King James Version. If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her cunning. 6. If I do not remember thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. If I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy. Galatians 4, verse 26. But Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all. Hashtag wake up Israel. And remember, if you want to read this, just pause the video. Do you see the link? Do you see the other link right here? I'll zoom in on it. And that's the first part of this lesson. And this is next. So when I come back to show you, I won't show this first page because I already done showed it to you. Alright, The Remnant of True Israel by Yakana Fitz Savage. Who are the real Moors from Arabia to Africa? Table of contents, brief description. 2, the origin of the word African, the origin of the word black, that's number 3. Number 4, the origin of the word Moor. Number 5, the exiles of the Moors from Jerusalem. Alright, this lesson will show how Israelites, Negroes, were referred to as Moors throughout the Dark Ages. This lesson will show why our people still to this day falsely identify by the Moor byword, practicing Islam and Moorish science. When it comes to, and it's so crazy because this lesson is right before my introduction to Islam, my lesson on Islam, not introduction to Islam, but my message to my people concerning Islam. But I've already done the video to that, so I won't be going into that. This is the last part, just came before that, and you can view that lesson. It's already on my page. But when it comes to the term Moor, this particular word is not a nationality of people. It is a byword which means black that Israelites were given. This term Moor refers to the Israelites who dwelt outside of the borders of Israel that migrated to regions such as Libya, aka Carthage, aka Northern Africa, Spain, Egypt, and Arabia, approximately 179 BC. I love the Moors, but I want them to know their true history. Alright, so going into the origin of the word African. Before I begin, I must tear down the strongholds attached to this topic, which is religion and identity. As I just told you, the name Africa actually derives from a man named Ephor or Ophrin, and the translation of the word Africa. Ephor was the grandson of Abraham through Abraham's fourth son, Midian. These sons that came from Abraham were born from Abraham's second wife named Keturah, which he married after Sarah, his first wife, died. Then this is Genesis 25 verse 1. Then again Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah, and she bare him Zimran and Jokshan and Medan and Midian and Ishbak and Shua And Jokshan began Sheba and Dedan, and the sons of Dedan were Asherim, Letushim, and Leumim. And the sons of Midian, Ephah and Epher, and Hancock, and Abida and Eldah. All these were the children of Keturah. We must first start we must first start with Abraham's son Midian in order to prove the origins of the name Africa. As you continue to read on, you will discover that Hannibal Barca is a descendant from Midian through Epher, which is Midian's son. Although Midian was a Hebrew because he was from Abraham's seed, Midian did not become a nation that can be traced or identified today. Midian never populated into a nation of people like Ishmael, the Arabs, Esau, Caucasians, and Israel, Negroes, natives, and Latinos. The people who came from Midian only grew into a clan or a large dynasty. The Midianites were allies with our people at times. When I taught you about Moses recently, I told you how Moses even sought refuge among the Midianites after he fled from Pharaoh for killing an Egyptian. And then the Antiquities of the Jews, Book 1, Chapter 15, Flavius Josephus, translated by William Whiston. Abraham, after this, married Keturah, by whom 6 sons were born to him, men of courage and sagacious minds, Zambran and Jazar and Madan and Midian and Josabak and Sus. Now the sons of Sus were Sabathan and Dedan, and the sons of Dedan were Latusim and Asur and Luam. The sons of Midian were Ephas and Ophrin. This is Greek, by the way. And Anak and Abidas and Eldas. Now, for all these sons and grandsons, Abraham contrived to settle them in colonies, and they took possession of Troglodytis and the country of Arabia the Happy. Every time it says Arabia the Happy, because when have you ever known Arabia to be happy? I'm just saying. As far as it reaches to the Red Sea, it is related of this. It is related of this Ophrin that he made war against Libya and took it, and that his grandchildren, when they inhabited it, called it from his name Africa. And then I give you the link, just like I showed you the last time. Only the true descendants of Africa would have come from the bloodline of Epher, the son of Midian, and the grandson of Abraham. As you can see here, Epher or Opharin are synonymous with the word Africa. Israelites are not from this bloodline. We come from Jacob. Moors are not from this bloodline. They come from Jacob also, and neither are the descendants of Ham from the Midian bloodline. Ham come from Ham. And with all that being said, we can eliminate the Moors association with the term African. Okay? The origin of the word black. Next, let's focus on another stronghold, which is the term black. I think it's hilarious when I hear a high yellow, light skinned person say that they are black. I am not denying that they are my people, but I think it's funny because they are not the actual color black. Black people are not the literal color black, just like white people are not the literal color white. Have you ever wondered why we are the only two races of people to be relegated down to a color? It's to keep the twins, Jacob and Esau, from knowing who they truly are. I have conversed with many white people who who understand I am not racist, that don't know their own true history. We all have been lied to, and there is a reason why. Anyways, I digress. The way you the way that you say black in Latin is Niger. The word Niger is the same word used by the Greek/Roman Caucasians of Antioch to describe Paul and the other apostles who taught Hebrew Israelites that dwelt among the Gentiles in Antioch. Acts 13, verse 1. Now, there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called Niger, and Lucius of Cyrene, and Manaen, which had been brought up with Herod and Tetrarch, and Saul. The name Saul is Paul's birth name. He is also known as Paul. The land of Cyrene is modern day Libya, where the Moors were from. Lucius was a Moor. The word Niger and Moor mean the same thing, which means these men were called Moors, aka Nigers, by the Caucasians of Antioch. Our ancestors were Hebrew Israelites who were called Nigers, aka black people, aka Moors, as a byword even during the time of the Roman Empire. Now let's examine the definition of the word black and the word Niger from the Oxford Dictionary and the Merriam-Webster's Dictionary to see what relation these words have with the word Moor. Oxford Latin Dictionary, 1982. Black, Niger, Nigra, Nigrum. Adjective definitions. 1. Black, dark. 2. Unlucky. Age. In use throughout the ages, unknown area. All or none geography. All or none frequency. Very frequent in all elementary Latin books. Top 1,000 words. Source, general unknown or too common to say. The word black is pronounced Niger in Latin from the Oxford Latin Dictionary. Now I will review the same word black from the Merriam-Webster's Dictionary, which shows that these two words are not only synonymous, but they also have the same meaning. Merriam-Webster Dictionary, black, adjective, very dark, because there is no light. Of or relating to a race of people who have dark skin and who come originally from Africa. Full definition. 1. A. Of the color black. 2. A. Having dark skin, hair, and eyes. Swarthy. The Black Irish. Thoroughly sinister or evil. Wicked. A black deed. B. Indicative of condemnation or discredit. Indicative of condemnation or discredit. The reason we are labeled black people is because it was prophesied that God's chosen people would leave our native nationality, which is Israelites, to identify ourselves with false identities or masks for my spiritual people out there. Mask. The reason we have been labeled black people has nothing to do with our skin color. East Indians are just as dark as we are, and sometimes darker, but for some reason they are never labeled as black people. Jeremiah 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. Deuteronomy 28, verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations whither the Lord shall lead thee. The terms black, Niger, and even more are all bywords that have the same meaning because we no longer had light, which is the wisdom of the Most High in us. We became black people, aka Moors. Continuing in Merriam-Webster Dictionary, 7. Connected with or invoking the supernatural, and especially the the devil, black magic. I thought I saw. Never mind. 8A. Very sad, gloomy, or calamitous. Black despair. B. Marked by the occurrence of disaster. Black Friday. 9. Characterized by hostility or angry discontent. Sullen. 10. Chiefly British. 11A. Of propaganda. Conducted so as to appear to originate within an enemy country and designed to weaken enemy morale. What? All of that for black? And this what you want to call yourself? Black. This is black. This, when I'm scratching, this is black. Okay? This is black. The writing on this shirt, black. That's black. This is not black. It's that simple. B. Characterized by or connected with the use of black propaganda. The origin of the word Moor. The origin of the word Moor. This next section of the lesson will explain how the term Niger, black, and the term Moor are synonymous. They are the same word in translation. Below are some additional supporting resources that shows that this byword Moor is the same as Niger and black. Maras was synonymous with Moor, Negro, and Ethiops. And John Ethics, A New English Latin Dictionary, 1783. The English term Moor also meant black in English dictionaries and encyclopedia prior to the 20th century. Moor meant Negro or Blackamoor in a dictionary of the English language, 1768, by Samuel Johnson. The Encyclopedia Londinensis, 1817, by John Wilkes, lists Moor as follows: Maris, Latin, in Greek, black, a Negro, a Blackamoor. It literally says it right here, a Blackamoor. In a New Latin English Dictionary by William Young, 1810, Maris is a black Moor. According to the Ainsworth Latin Dictionary, Morell's abridgment by Alexander Jameson, Robert Ainsworth, 1828, Maris means black Moor. Now that we have the understanding that the terms Niger, black, and Moor are all synonymous, this next section of the lesson proves from the prophecies of Jeremiah that the tribe of Judah will leave their identity and become known as black people, aka Moors. The scriptures, and if you're looking for more evidence on the black section, watch the videos. Because these might just be little synopses. Go watch the previous videos. Okay? Now that we have the understanding that the terms Niger, Black, and Moor are all synonymous, this next section of this lesson proves from the prophecies of Jeremiah that the tribe of Judah will leave their identity and become known as black people, aka Moors. The scriptures say that we will be known as black people. This is why you see terms like black in the Bible, because this helps us identify who the tribe of Judah is in the last days. It's you, black folk. It's you. Jeremiah 14, verse 2. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground. When it says they are black unto the ground, when you translate that sentence from its original language, Hebrew, it's pronounced Kadar La Arataza. Kadar La Arataza, which literally means they are dark unto the ground, according to the Bible. The people from the tribe of Judah are many different shades of brown, like the earth. In the book of Jeremiah, it proves how the original Jews looked. Israelites are different shades of brown, as I have previously shown you. The scripture tells us that for every shade of brown that you find on earth, you can find a black person that same color, but the color of black people is not black. Neither was the nationality of the tribe of Judah considered black by our ancestors. The word black is a byword which is equivalent to the word Niger and the word Moor. And that's where they got the term, that's where they got nigger from. It went from Niger, and they just added another G. The exiles of the Moors from Jerusalem. This section of the lesson focuses on why the Moors began to identify themselves by foreign nationalities and religions. They did these things in order to survive. The prophecies that you just read earlier prophesied that our people will be scattered due to slavery. Wood, cross equals idol equals Christianity. Stone equals the Kaaba stone equals idol equals Islam. Deuteronomy 28, verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. That's what that means. Now your pastor been in church for 20 years. Why he ain't told you that? Why he ain't told you that even wood and stone means the wood means the cross, which is an idol. Your Savior, our Savior, is not on the cross anymore. And if it was me, I personally wouldn't want to be reminded every time I see a cross of what happened. I wouldn't want to. And then with this Kaaba stone, there's a corner on the stone where they literally stick their head into a opening, and it's supposed to resemble a female body part. I have told you this previously, but this scattering of the Israelites first began with a demonic ruler by the name of Antiochus Epiphanes. Antiochus Epiphanes perpetuated the conversion of Israelites to follow a one world order, to abolish the laws of the Most High and any other foreign laws that the surrounding nations followed. He began to rule during the Greco-Roman Empire, approximately 197 AD. reading from 1 Maccabees 1, starting at 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. 42. And everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to this religion, and sacrificed unto idols, and profaned the Sabbath. For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beast, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised, and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation. To the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die. This is where you get the term Hellenic. Hellenic. This is where you get the term Hellenic Jews. And let's not forget, white people, Esau came up with all of these different bywords like Asiatic and Hellenic Jews. Hellenic Jews were Israelites who left their laws and nationalities to follow after Greek customs, just like black folk who adopt the Greek letter societal life today. And I did a video on that. Under this new law of Antiochus Epiphanes, any Israelite that would not conform to this new law would be put to death. Some Israelites did not conform to these new laws. Instead, they hid themselves in exile among the other nations as well as their nationality. This is when you start seeing Israelites being called by these foreign names like Moors, for example. Same thing happening today with my people identifying as black. Reading down 1 Maccabees 1:52. Then many of the people were gathered unto them, to wit, everyone that forsook the law, and so they committed evils in the land, and drove the Israelites into secret places, even wheresoever they could flee for succor. Let's understand what the term succor means. Here is the definition of the word. Merriam-Webster's Dictionary, succor. Something that you do or give to help someone who is suffering or in a difficult situation. Full definition. Relief, number 1. Also, aid, help. 2. Something that furnishes relief. The places that our ancestors fled to for relief were among the surrounding nations who did not follow the new laws of Antiochus Epiphanes. A great example is the Midianites of Epher, aka Africa, which is the bloodline that Hannibal Barca was from. These Israelites found refuge among the Midianites, just as we have done on a number of occasions in our past. Moses also found relief when he sought refuge among the Midianites when he was on the run from Pharaoh. Moors migrated to places like Saudi Arabia, among Ishmael, modern-day Arabs, Libya, and the surrounding areas of what we know today as Northern Africa. We have always been able to blend in amongst other nations from the seed of Ham. This is why when you read about the day of Pentecost in Acts 2, you read about Israelites coming from places like Arabia, Egypt, and Libya, which is northern Africa where Moors come from. to Jerusalem to celebrate Pentecost. They were Israelites in those regions with foreign nationalities. Also, keep in mind how the Israelites still celebrated the feast slash holy days after Christ had come. Because this isn't, Acts, right? Now let it go to Acts. Well, Acts is after Christ had come, you know. So this took place after Christ had come. Mm-hmm. So yeah, just keep in mind how the Israelites still celebrated the feast slash holy days after Christ had come. That kills that whole, ain't none of that. We don't have to do that stuff no more. That killed that whole argument. Acts 2 and 5. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men, out of every nation under heaven. As you can clearly see, these Israelites came from every nation back to Jerusalem to keep the feast slash holy day. Why? Because according to Matthew 5:17 through 19, King James Version, and Matthew 22 and 40, King James Version, the law is still in effect. These Jews even came from the locations. These Jews even came from the locations where today so-called Moors dwelt during this time frame. Reading down. Acts 2 verse 9. Me. Parthians and Medes and Elamites and the dwellers in Mesopotamia and in Judea and Cappadocia and Pontus and Asia, Phrygia and Pamphylia in Egypt and in the parts of Libya about Cyrene, and strangers of Rome, Jews and proselytes. 11. Cretes and Arabians. We do hear them speak in our tongues the wonderful works of God. Some say that Moors can't be Israelites because they are Islamic. Okay, but what did they believe before Islam? What did they believe before that? Islam is the youngest religion of all, created in the 7th century and heavily forced on our people in the 1400s. Moors began to follow Islam in the 8th century because there was no Islam before the 7th century, when they had this religion forced upon them by the Arab nations and the Ottoman Turk Empire, who began to push their religion into Egypt, Libya, and Spain. And I've talked about both. I've talked about everything that I just read, baby. I talked about the Ottoman Turk Empire. I talked about it already. So, remember, the only reason Moors and all the rest of our people identify themselves by foreign names is because the Most High said we would leave our true nationality and begin to follow after false identities and religions that our ancestors have not known. Deuteronomy 28, remember that? Deuteronomy 28 and 64, where the Lord will scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto another, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Jeremiah 17 verse 4. And thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. And you know what's doing this? The stuff that I'm going to talk about coming soon. You gonna know. Okay? Hosea 1 verse 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, Ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, Ye are the sons of the living God. Additional reference: History of the Conquest of Spain by the Arab Moors with a sketch, Volume 1 by Henry Capet. Oh, and last but not least, this is from my Facebook page. You're mad about Trump's new ugly ass bill, but you're getting ready to celebrate the white man's Independence Day. Mind blown. If lost was a people, you're mad about Trump's racism, but you're getting ready to celebrate the white man's Independence Day. Mind blown. You're mad about police brutality, but won't stop killing each other. Mind blown. And you're about to celebrate the white man's Independence Day. Mind blown. Boycott Target, but we still shop at Walmart. And I don't care if you bought something and returned it. It makes you even more a hypocrite and FOS. Full of, it makes you that even more. Because especially if you go around doing all this talking, telling people to boycott this and then boycott that, but then you could take your happy self to Walmart and get speakers. Oh, and then you feel better because, oh, well, I took them back. Oh, so that's an addendum to the rules because we didn't know that. That's why you cannot listen to elitists. You cannot listen to elitists. And as long as you listen to these people, you will see their true colors. You will see right through them. I be seeing right through these people. Boycott Target, but still shop at Walmart, who was the first to end DEI policies that barely even trickled down to black folk. Oh, but let me accept this $300,000 donation. NBC, aka National Bitches Convention. Mind blown. Boycott Uber, but support Mercedes-Benz. Germans, aka Jewish imposters. Mind blown. Did you know these imposters that you riding around in your Benz? Did you know that they own the plantations? They finance the ships? Oh, but it's okay to support them, right? It's, oh, we love the Lord, but let's continue to celebrate paganism. Mind blown. If lost was a people. Black soldiers who fought in the American Revolution faced a mix of outcomes after the war. This is for all the people that I saw, oh, well, we should celebrate the 4th of July because black people fought in the war too. This is for you, dummy. Black soldiers who fought in the American Revolution faced a mix of outcomes after the war. While some were granted freedom and opportunities, many faced discrimination. Mind blown. Were returned to slavery. Mind blown. Wait a minute. So you mean to tell me I gotta go fight for this land, and then when I come back, Billy goes off and he gets good benefits and everything else, but I gotta go back to the fields? So yeah, that's what you celebrated. So don't sit up and try to make it seem like, oh, I'm celebrating this because black people fought too. Okay, well, chances are them black people that fought, they was returned to the fields. Just say you want to kick it with your family and pop annoying fireworks. I don't feel bad when people hands and stuff get blown. I don't feel bad, not at all. Nope. Cause you ain't the one that's gotta sit here and listen to stupid people popping fireworks all night. Okay, I understand a little sparkler. I even understand, you know, hey, I was young. I get it. But after 10 o'clock, no, I don't. And some people can't handle fireworks. They just can't handle it. They don't know how to go down and just sit the Roman candle down and light the fuse and just let it go. No, they got to pick it up and aim it at you. They don't know how to handle it. That's the climate that we living in nowadays. You see what's going on Carnival. I mean, I feel. I mean, it's of course, yeah, of course. You know what they doing, but why is they doing it? Why give them a reason to? Why do you got to take yourself on a cruise and be fighting on a cruise in the middle of the ocean? But they better than me, cause I would throw you and the person you're fighting, and then your mammy that's standing there doing all that screaming, your sisters that's doing all that screaming, all of y'all going overboard. Bye. Why do you have to go somewhere and be ghetto and ratchet? I don't get that. And it's not all. It's not all my people. No. But it's these hood boogers and they know who they are. They can't even go nowhere. They can't even go into an airport without fighting. It's crazy. That's why this is happening though. That's why. Cause your sky daddy, your big daddy in the sky, who y'all like to say is imaginary, he doing all of this. And you know what he's saying? You know what he's saying? Oh, y'all gonna come together. You gonna come together. Cause I'm gonna keep putting stuff up around you to where y'all gonna be like mice. Can't go this way, can't go this way, can't go this way. You gotta deal with each other. And what you gonna do, Mr. Blood, Mr. Crip, when you see this white mob coming at you? Y'all gonna still kill each other, or y'all gonna squash whatever you got and take care of business? What you gonna do? That's what it's coming to. That's why all of this is happening. Sorry that God had to do this to put us in a situation like this for us to come together, but we just would not come together. That's why it's resulting in this. That's why. But many face discrimination or was returned to slavery or struggled to find stable work. Some were even denied promised pensions or faced violence. Okay, so this next, I just want y'all to hear this. I'm gonna sit here, but I already recorded this, and I just want you to hear it.
Off the couch. You know why everybody's so pissed about this big, beautiful bill? Because they got to get up and move their ass off the couch. They've been living off the government for the last God knows how many years.
Yep, you got me. You got me. Because I have been speaking out against this bill, and my wife.
So that first person that was just talking, he looked like some fat ass, hoggish, greedly looking MFer from Captain Planet. Remember that hoggish, greedly looking character? That's exactly what he looked, just like how he sound. He looks like if Cartman had grown up, that's what he looked like. Just ignorant and dumb. When dumb people, they don't know their own history. You would really be surprised if you could pick their brain. They don't know their own history. A lot of
And
them don't.
I can't lie about it. We have been drawing money from the government since 1999 and her since about 2004. See, because for 23 years I was paid as a soldier and as a GS civilian who retired in 2022 as a GS-12. And now I draw VA disability, and so does my wife, because in 2004 she was thrown from a Humvee and broke her back. And after retirement, I started working in the private sector. I've got a remote job that I work from home. And yes, I have been against this big, beautiful bill. Now you may ask why. Why? I would ask you the same thing. Why do you have the opinion you have that only somebody who draws money from the government because they're lazy is what you were getting at? Why would anybody else be against this bill? And it's simple, because I care about other people. Now, I don't draw any kind of benefits that are going to be affected by this. Will I be affected in some ways? Absolutely, but not nearly as bad as some people. Now, the bill's passed. There's nothing else to really debate because it's done. It's passed. Let's talk about what's going to happen now, and we'll use this for posterity because the changes are not going to be immediate. Here's the timeline. Medicaid cuts will roll out January 1st, 2027, and then over the next couple of years, those reductions will continue. SNAP cuts begin in late 2025 into 2026, and then ramp up over the next couple of years. Medicare, the same thing. They are tied to automatic pay-go and begin in 2027, extending through 2034. So you're not going to see these changes immediately, but when they start to roll out, remember how many times you all were told that this is going to affect so many more people than you think it is. This is not just affecting people that you deem as lazy and don't want to work. That's such a small percentage of people that draw these benefits. This is going to affect so many more people, including people that you know and love. And let's talk about Alabama, because that's where you're from. Did you know Alabama ranks 14th in the nation for these programs? And if you look at the states and what states actually bring in more federal money because of programs like this, they are mostly red states. 7 of the top 10 states on that list are red states, which means these cuts are going to hit red states the hardest. So when these changes start taking place, and when your friends and people you love start losing benefits that they need and they can't get even if they're working, because also keep in mind, 75% of those that are on these benefits, they actually work a full-time job. They just don't make enough to cover. So when that happens, never forget back to 2025 when Democrats tried to help. Too late for that now. I guess this is that FAFO stage, and I don't wish it on anybody, but it's going to happen now, so best of luck.
But you know what the sad part about it is that even, because see, I'm not a party type person, but this time I did vote blue, and I had not voted since Obama's first term, but I knew that this was serious this time, because this one was a serious one. I was rallying, trying to get people to vote, for Harris. I was telling people, the younger people, I was even on the apps asking people about their political, and I ain't had sex in 2 years, but I got on the apps even trying to see what people was thinking politically and where their mindset was at. I did what I could do. Excuse me. I did what I could do. And it was very disheartening to talk to a few LGBTQIA black men. And I'm not voting. I don't care. It don't affect me. And now we see. This is what that mindset gets you. But this needs to happen. I can't tell y'all how many young folks I talk to. I'm not voting. This don't got nothing to do with me. Okay. It needs to happen. Because this generation, you can't talk to them. You gotta show them. I guarantee you, after this next 4 years, I guarantee you, the people who I talked to that was talking about something they wasn't voting, I guarantee you they gonna vote. They gonna vote. But
hey, Anthony.
Yeah.
Did you see that the budget bill passed?
Yes.
What do you think about that?
Well, a phrase that I keep hearing about the Trump administration's actions is that the cruelty is the point. And I think that this bill is a perfect example of that. It's a bill that claims to be helping poor people and low-income families by cutting taxes on their income, while in reality it's moving crucial benefits from those people in order to shift wealth to the ultra-rich.
Who's going to be impacted by this the most?
Low and middle income households for sure. At biggest risk is anybody receiving Medicaid benefits. Nearly 1 in 7 current Medicaid beneficiaries could be losing those benefits because of new work requirements that are being imposed by the Trump administration. While the Republican Party likes to describe Medicaid beneficiaries as, lazy and unmotivated, and the truth is that many of them are disabled and unable to work because of their disabilities. They might be veterans. A lot of them are elderly people. These are people that, rather than being able to work to meet these benefits, may simply just die because they can't receive critical health care. We're also looking at potentially another 8 million people that could be losing access to food assistance through the form of SNAP benefits because of, again, work requirements that are being placed on those benefits. And many of those people are children. So we're using the lives of the disabled, of the elderly, of the poor, of children to fund tax cuts for the rich, increase military spending that is completely unnecessary, and to fund what's basically a terror campaign against immigrants in this country. And then on top of those lives that are threatened by the loss of benefits, there's a number of other terrible changes in the bill that are also likely to disproportionately affect poor people. Critical among them is cuts to the clean energy industry that, when you combine them with the effects of recent executive orders, such as the removal of hurricane monitoring from public access, could lead to millions of lives being lost because of global warming incidents like hurricanes and tornadoes in the upcoming years.
Katrina all
So
over
we're
again.
really just using the lives of millions and millions and millions of poor Americans.
Katrina all over again. But this time, you won't even see it coming. And they could build brand new levees all they want to. They blew the first ones. Gag. They blew the first one, so what makes you think they won't blow them? It's pretty bad.
Many of which the GOP states, and may have even voted for the representatives that supported this bill, to further increase the wealth gap in this country. And the Republicans in Congress are laughing about it.
He makes it.
And you know what's so sad? Is that there's a demographic of white people that hate us so bad, but they ain't doing no better than us. And quiet is kept. We doing a lot better than them. Quiet is kept. The first one, the hoggish greedy looking person that I said looked like an older version of Cartman. You got people like him that do all of this talking, and he's struggling too. You're struggling just like all of us. We're all struggling. But you will sit up there and make a vote like that because of your hatred for black folk. Because you hate black folk so bad that, I'm just going to go with Trump. And he screwed you. He screwed you. But you know who they're going to blame it on? The Democrats. The Democrats. I watched a man, he was so mad at Trump, he still couldn't help but bring the Democrats into it. Still. Like, brother, they running the show. He passed the big, beautiful bill. Like, what do they have to do with this? They lost. They're not in office. Like, you're a part of this delusional game. A part of this psychosis. You're addicted. You're so addicted to the beef that you can't even help. When this is all flat out Republicans, you can't even help not bring up Democrats. Like, you can't help but bring them up. That's how addicted you are to your racism. Because I know another word for Democrat is black, So I get it. That's how addicted they are to their racism. And yet, your dumb self will sit here, my people, will sit here and ask, why do they treat us like this? Why does this happen? I mean, why do they just don't like us? Why? Why do they keep shooting us in the street? Why? Bitch, I got 196 videos telling your dumbass why. But no, that can't be it. I know. That can't be it. You know why that can't be it? Because then you'd have to do. That's why you don't want it to be it. Because then you'd have to do right. You have to do right. You can't be out here screwing Keisha, LaToya, and both of their sisters. No, you gotta be honest. You gotta be righteous. You can't be out here scamming old man Rob. You can't be out here letting Tykeem and Haquan and Pookie and Ray Ray all hit you in one night. And now you don't know who the baby daddy is. You can't then you can't go to the bathhouse and suck 10 penis or go to the dark party where it's 400 people in the dark building having sex, fornicating. Can't do that. That's why you don't want this to be true. Because you just want to do you. Well, that comes with a cost. When your son is laying face down in the street because the police got him, that's the cost of these curses that I've been telling you about. But no, you want to go listen to your phony pastor because you want to hear Isaiah 30 and 10. Ooh, don't prophesy to us the truth. Prophesy soothing words. Tell us soothing things only. We don't want to hear the truth. We don't want to hear the truth that God is doing all of this because we are a disobedient people. We've never kept our end of the covenant. Never.
This is how it went.
Why you voting for Trump for? Because I'm fucking tired of being broke.
And this is how it's going.
I've been fucking pumped for this no tax on overtime. I've been fucking ecstatic, dude. I know America's been waiting on this shit. Everybody's been bragging. Man, I can't wait. I'm gonna have so much extra money. It's gonna, bring in so much more money per month. Wrong, motherfuckers. Wrong. I did the fine print looking. It is not fucking gonna help us month to month. It's not gonna help you check none. They're still gonna tax the fuck out of your goddamn check.
Buddy, you voted for the man who lied over 33,000 times while in his first term.
All of this stuff was known to them. They saw it. They saw it. And you know what's gonna be sad? That guy, wrong. You know who we gonna blame? He ain't gonna blame Trump. He gonna blame Democrats. I'm telling you, this is the downfall of the white man. I've been saying it. This is how it's gonna happen. You see the downfall coming. We're approaching 250 years. Empires crumble around 250 years. I mean, the writing's on the wall. This plane is ready to land. You won't know it because you choose not to pay attention, because all you want to do is care about the Diddy trial. That's all you want to, I never can understand that. Like, how are you so interested in this trial? What are you gaining? What are you gaining from it? Anything? What are you gaining? Keisha, you're not Cassie. Sorry, honey. I'm sorry that Tyrone beat you. But you're not Cassie. You're not getting $30 million. So why do you care so much? That's an industry girl. She should be in jail with Diddy. I'm sorry she got her ass whooped. But the stuff that those industry people are into, she probably deserved it. I'm just being honest. I know what they get into. You up here boo-hooing for Cassie, then okay. Go ahead and get with Cassie. When you go in that room and they have you screwing a sacred baboon, go ahead. Don't call me. Because I told you. But see, that's the hard-headedness of our people. We don't want to believe it. Even when you got all these witnesses telling you, we don't want to believe it. We don't want to. Because then if we believe it, then that means that, damn, now that means that it is true. I'm going to have to do all of this stuff, to get a little ounce of fame. I wanted to stay naive to this, and hope maybe it won't happen to me. Just dumb. Delusional. You want to know how I know? Because you was the same bitches taking your daughters up to McDonald's to go get preyed on by R. Kelly. You are not innocent. I don't know, what is so interesting about these celebrities that they don't care. None of them. They don't care about their people. They've already, and I've talked about this already. I've shown you pretty much everything. The rituals, I've shown you everything. But you know what? It's still gonna be some people, no. Because they don't want to believe it, because they hoping in their mind that this ain't true, because then, hopefully it just won't come my way. Okay. You can't fix stupid. But these guys are going to blame Democrats. Trump could literally decimate this country right in front of their face. And they're going to turn around. They're going to look at that and then turn around and say, see, it's your fault. Because these are toddlers. These are men that act like children, that can't take accountability for the things that they do. And this gig is up. Always making it seem like it's always us and we're just no, y'all the dumb ones. I be seeing so many racist comments, and it's just like, do you forget what y'all did on January 6th? Do you forget who are the original vandals? You. Because you come from the caves. That's what you're used to. That's what you know. And people that I was just talking about, the Moors, we found you. Cleaned you up, taught you how to bathe, taught you how to read. But yes, he's screwing. I love it though. I love it. I love it. I love to watch these guys get screwed. You are so buried in your hatred that you just were blinded. The audacity I heard the other day, that they really thought that black people didn't have jobs and was going to come back to their fields and work. Are you dumb? Yes, you are. You are. I've been saying this for years. This is going to be the downfall of the white man. Obadiah 1. Obadiah. Read it. The whole book. The whole chapter. Read the whole thing. Obadiah. Read it. That's them. It's coming. I've been telling you. Welcome.
On people his whole entire life, and you yourself expected not to get lied to and conned? Well, I guess this is what it looks like when a Trump supporter decides to wake up, take the boot out of his mouth, and realize, yo, we were right. Donald Trump's only interest is giving tax breaks to his billionaire best friends while screwing over the middle class. We told you that. You said, ain't no way that a billionaire and his best friend, the richest man in the world, won't have the middle class's best interest in mind. And we said you were crazy, and you said we were fear-mongering, and here we are, and you're regretting this, which is very interesting. And a cherry on top for you really quick, coal miners. Donald Trump took away your guys' black lung screening. It's a disease that you guys are very susceptible to. In West Virginia, he took away the black lung screening. That was free and accessible to you guys for a long time. It's been a benefit for a long time. He took that away. So that is just a cherry on top of me trying to let you know that Donald Trump does not give a damn about the working class, and he never has. My name is Mercedes Chandler. Give me a follow. You want?
Okay, so this guy, right? This guy that's speaking, it's Cracker.
Why you voting for Trump for? Because I'm fucking tired of being broke.
And this is how.
So, I don't know who the lady is that was talking that got him together, but he's a coal miner. And you heard what she just said that Trump did with the coal miners. So they get this disease called black lungs disease. And the Democrats made it accessible, free for them. That's how dumb these people are. They voted against their own interests. That's how dumb. Do you see how hatred is the opposite of love? And hatred will make you do some very dumb things. And you know what's the irony? You know what's going to happen to him. You know what's going to happen to this hunky. You already know. He's going to get that black lung disease. Oh, all the elements are there. This is the perfect irony story. Dumb man votes against his own interest. Votes for man who removes benefit that man needed to get screened for black lung disease. Well,
Follower, you want to my face again? Thank you.
Okay, so
Talk about the big ugly bill, because if you support it,
I just
I
want
have
to say this. For those that know me, no, I do not like Catholics. I do not like Catholics. I do not like what they believe in. Their doctrines are false. There's a lot of demonic activities at the Vatican and the upper echelons. You know the problems with the popes. You know the problems with the priests. I do not like Catholics. This man is Catholic, and I'm allowing him to speak. You want to know why? Because even though I don't like Catholics, I don't want to harm him. I don't know this man from a can of paint. I just know he's a Catholic, and I don't like his religion. But that don't mean I want to harm him. I'm not racist. You hear stuff from white guys. I'm not racist. But, I mean, and what I call racist is who has the power to make laws? Who can make laws that say, hey, this is a colored water fountain and this is a whites only water fountain? We have never had that type of power. So I'm not racist. And a lot of them be racist, but they won't say it outright. No. You'll go to the comment section and unleash your fury. but then want to get butthurt when they hear me speak. Stop fucking your mom.
One question.
And
How
the
do you call yourself a Christian or a Catholic and still stand behind it? Because nothing in the bill aligns with the teachings of Jesus. Not the cuts to Medicaid, not the slashing of food assistance, not the tax breaks for the ultra wealthy, while children go hungry and the sick untreated. Jesus said, whatever you did for the least of these, and this bill does nothing for the least. It punishes them. You don't have to take my word for it. Just ask Pope Leo IX. At a global gathering just last month, he warned world leaders about the unacceptable disproportion between the immense wealth concentrated in the hands of a few and the world's poor. He called for the equitable distribution of resources and said the failure to protect the vulnerable leads not only to injustice, but eventually to collapse. The U.S. Catholic bishops heard him loud and clear. They released a blistering statement about this very bill, calling it unconscionable, warning that it guts programs for the sick and the poor, worsens equality, and directly contradicts Catholic teaching. So tell me, what part of this bill protects the vulnerable? What part echoes Christ's command to care for the sick? What part reflects a church that believes healthcare is a right, not a privilege? Because from where I'm standing, this bill doesn't look Christian. It looks cruel. It looks calculated. And if Jesus walked into Congress today, he wouldn't sign it. He would overturn the desk it was written on. So if you still claim this bill lines up with your faith, I suggest you crack open the Bible. Or better yet, listen to your Pope. Because Pope Leo IX isn't just speaking from a pulpit. He's sounding the alarm. And you can't serve Christ and Caesar. Pick.
One big beautiful bill is making Medicaid great again.
I'm gonna let him cook with that. Just listen to the Pope on that, okay? Because they are the reason why you in church on Sunday. But I ain't gonna cook. I'm gonna let him.
Millions are losing their health insurance. Yeah, 1.4 million of those people are undocumented immigrants. Why are they getting Medicaid in the first place? First off, Medicaid isn't just for everybody to have free health insurance. What the fuck is this, Canada? Medicaid is a state and federal program that provides health insurance for Americans in need. Pregnant women, children, people with disabilities, adults with low income, parents with low income. Medicaid is never the goal. It's something to help you out when you need it.
Lock in, fuck niggas. We about to fact check this shit. First, if you fuck with me, make sure that follow button. Let's get it. What the hell are you talking about? 1.4 million undocumented migrants are not on Medicaid. If you just simply did the research, you would have known in order to be eligible for Medicaid, you must have qualified immigration status. And being an undocumented migrant does not make you eligible for Medicaid. Do you know how many people are going to be losing their Medicaid because of this budget bill? 11.8 million. That's almost 17% of recipients. And what the hell do you mean that Medicaid is supposed to be a temporary thing for people? 20% of Medicaid recipients literally have either a disability or over the age of 65. Or do you think getting older is just a temporary thing? And on top of that, let's just pretend it was 1.4 million undocumented migrants on Medicaid. Brother. That's such a slim majority. It's literally less than 1%. So you mean to tell me it was worth removing 99% of people who are here legally on Medicaid just to remove the 0.0019% of people who are here legally? The bar is just set low for you MAGA conservatives.
Big beautiful bill Medicaid cuts. I'm for it because I'm an able-bodied American citizen right now. I'm headed to work. I work at least 40 hours a week. People need to stop just getting free benefits. If you can go to work, you need to go to work because we're tired of paying for everybody. So Medicaid cuts, we're here for it.
We're tired of paying for everybody. This bitch got on some motherfucking glasses. These Coke bottle glasses that's so goddamn thick. You would think she would have went to Back to Future in her goddamn frames. That's how she can see all the way back to the motherfucking 80s. If you see what these glasses look like on this bitch face. You ignorant, just dumb. We're tired of paying for everybody. When are you gonna get tired of killing everybody? When are you gonna get tired of stealing from everybody? When are you gonna pay everybody back for what you stole? and the free labor you got to build the country that's gonna fall. Cracker ass bitch. Go back. Let me tell you something, lady. Blonde hair and blue eyes are the weakest of the genetic pool. Get your weak ass on.
She worked 40 hours a week too at the same company for 32 years, and she was union, and then she got brain tumors, and she lost her health insurance. Because if you're not working, you're gonna lose your health insurance, and then Medicaid and Medicare kick in. Every single person is one tragedy away from having to be on Medicaid and Medicare. You're one brain tumor, one car accident, and for you specifically, looking at you, I can tell you're one heart attack away from needing Medicaid and Medicare. Now, I know that you think everybody that's on them is lazy illegals, but guess what? One day, you're gonna need it and you're not gonna have it. And it's not you that's paying everything. It's people like me, the younger generation, that are paying for that, for you, for her. Now, thank God that she has successful children that can subsidize her way of life, because Medicare and Medicaid, it don't cover it all. You're going to be in poverty forever, and you're going to lose your house, you're going to lose your home, you're going to lose everything that you ever worked for, and you're going to have to move in with your kids. So I hope that you have fucking rich kids, because you just made that little tiny entitlement that you're going to need fucking smaller. I would like people like you to think of the future. You're gonna need it. For you, it's probably gonna be a couple years, all right? Because I can tell you've probably been eating butter and fried chicken for the last 20 years.
It's filtered through her glasses. I'm sorry. I had to show this guy. You are a stupid motherfucker. You're stupid. And he did this video, right? Your racism still came through. This was the guy that I was talking about that was still bringing up Democrats. He voted for Trump. Now Trump fucking him in his ass, and now he can't take it. But he still want to bring up Democrats. Sir, you are delusional. You are obsessed. And I hope something. I ain't gonna even do that. Alright, last section of this lesson. This is the last section. The inheritance of Jacob. Israel is not a part of Ethiopia, Africa, by Yakana Fitz Savage. According to the Bible, the land of Israel was never originally given to the descendants of Ham, aka Africa. I have told you once before that Canaan was cursed, Genesis 9, verse 25, because of what Ham did, uncovered his father's nakedness. Either Ham had sex with his mother, or he really did just see Noah naked. If it is the latter, I really don't understand why the harsh punishment. That's why I always go with Ham must have had sex with his mother. There's no shame for sons to see their father naked. However, there's great shame for sons to see their mother naked. This is the reality that Noah woke up to in his tent, and in anger cursed Canaan, the child born because of the sin. I've already talked about this on page 659, so I digress. Israel is not a part of the land of Ham. Jerusalem is the motherland of all civilization. This will be proven in this lesson. I have already proven that Canaan were squatters who tried to seize land that was not given to them. The only reason so-called scholars believe that Israel is a part of the land of Ham is because they can't figure out the location of the Garden of Eden, which was the birthplace of all civilized men. Galatians 4, verse 26. But Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all. According to the Bible, Israel is chosen land by God above all lands on earth. You see that they don't like that. A lot of Christians don't like to hear that God has a chosen land and He has a chosen people. It's in the scriptures. And you know who is so crazy that black folk is these chosen people and you fight so hard against it. Just dumb. I believe that the Garden of Eden is located somewhere around Israel. The location of the Garden of Eden, as described in the Bible, is not definitively known. However, the most common belief is that it was situated in the Middle East, specifically in the region of Mesopotamia, modern-day Iraq. This belief is based on the biblical description of the garden being watered by a river that divided into 4 rivers, including the Tigris and Euphrates. The Bible explicitly mentions these 2 rivers as flowing from the garden. These rivers flow through Mesopotamia, making this region a prime candidate. Ancient Israel encompassed a larger territory than modern-day Israel, including areas in modern-day Lebanon, Jordan, and Syria. Modern Israel borders are defined by scam-type international agreements and scam-type historical events, Balfour Declaration, primarily following the 1949 armistice lines. The 1949 armistice agreements were signed between imposter Israel, Jewish, Egypt, Lebanon, Jordan, and Syria. They formally ended the hostilities of the 1948 Arab-Israeli War, which was propaganda, and also demarcated the Green Line, which separated Arab-controlled territory from Israel until the latter's victory in the 1967 Six-Day War, which was another scam. They will be nothing without their god, Amesika. The ancient kingdom, particularly under David and Solomon, extended further east beyond the Jordan River and into parts of modern Jordan and Syria. The motherland was not a continent, it was a small area of land that was given to Adam and his descendants all the way up until the flood, but it was never considered a large continent. 2 Esdras 5 verse 23. And said, O Lord, that bears rule of every wood of the earth and of all the trees thereof, thou hast chosen the one only vine, and of all lands of the whole world thou hast chosen the one pit, and of all the flowers thereof one lily. Can you look at the land of Ham and consider it one bit? Africa is not a country. Africa is a continent full of many pits, aka countries. Jerusalem was a choice land, the best soil for planting, which was the best plot of land out of all lands in the Fertile Crescent. As you read on, you will see that the location of the Garden of Eden was hidden by the Most High. So-called scholars automatically associate the land of Israel to be the land originally owned by Ham after the flood, because Ham's descendants, Canaan, moved into pre-owned land that was given to Adam but promised to Jacob and named Canaan. I told you that Canaan were squatters, and I prove it on page 659. Remember, that region of land was given to Adam before the flood, and it was predestined to be inherited by Jacob and his descendants. Some scholars also try to make it seem as if Negroes come from Canaan, but that is also a lie. Negroes come from Shem. This is what I have proved with my life's work. Negroes come from Shem. Deuteronomy 32, verse 8. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For the Lord's portion is his people, Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. What separates the land of Israel from being associated with any continent? When the scripture says his inheritance, that is indicating that Jerusalem is God's land, not Ham. And it was the land that was given to Jacob. Africa is beautiful and filled with resources, but it's not the land that the Most High chose for Israel. Genesis 15, verse 13. And he said unto Abram, Know for surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. Sometimes when I look at the news and I see all this fighting over land, I wonder, did these people forget that the earth is the Lord's? Do they really believe in the Lord? In God we trust, right? What a joke. Do these cowardly men, these presidents, puppets, these dictators, men who act like children, or these fake royals create the earth? No. No. Jerusalem is the Most High's land, and it was given to Jacob as an inheritance. When God said that we would dwell in a land that was not ours, it was our time in ancient Egypt and Amesica. The land that we took over when we left Egypt, Israel, was not ours either. Neither was it Ham's land. It was God's chosen land that he gave to Jacob as an inheritance. God didn't give Ham Israel and then take it away. It never was Ham's land to begin with. Jerusalem is God's country, his chosen land, and Negroes are his chosen people. I only wish that black people could see that for themselves, because all of the evidence is there. I showed it. He gave this land to us. As I said, it never had anything to do with Canaan. They were just squatting, occupying pre-owned land until we became a nation. In addition to the fact that Canaan was cursed because of how Ham raped his own mother, Noah's wife, which produced Canaan. This is why our ancestors had to remove 7 Hamite nations when we re-entered back into our own land as a nation during the time when we left the land of Ham with Moses around 1446 BC. Jerusalem was originally given to Adam and re-inherited by Jacob. The scriptures debunk any modern map that is made depicting the land of Israel being part of the land of Ham. Israel is not a part of Africa at all. If it was, the descendants of Ham could lay claim to our land. It was never a part of Ham's land, which I have just proven. The Most High gave the land to Adam, and Adam lived before Ham. That's why we had to remove 7 Hamite nations from Canaan, because it was never supposed to be a part of Ham's land. Deuteronomy 7, verse 1. Deuteronomy 7, verse 1. When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and hath cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Canaanites, right? Because they were squatting, eviction, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. The Hamite nations that occupied our land were mightier than us because our nation is the youngest nation formed after the flood at that time. And God promised to give us his inheritance. The land that he gave to Adam was the Garden of Eden, which is the motherland of the Fertile Crescent, which connects to Jerusalem, which means city of peace. This is why we called our land the Promised Land, not because it was taken from Ham and given to Abraham, but because it was promised to Jacob during the time of Adam. The people in the land today are imposters, which I have already proven numerous times. Merriam-Webster Dictionary. Promise. A statement telling someone that you will definitely do something, or that something will definitely happen, or that something will definitely happen in the future. An indication of future success or improvement, a reason to expect that something will happen in the future. Psalms 137 verse 1, King James Version. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down, yea, we wept when we remembered Zion. We hanged our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof. The willow tree. That's what that's talking about. The willow tree. So our people would stand like under the willow tree because it would hide them. The long draping branch, it would hide them. For there they that carried us away captive required of us a song, a Negro spiritual. And they that wasted us required of us myrrh, saying, sing us one of the songs of Zion. That's a Negro spiritual. How shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her cunning. If I do not remember thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. If I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy. We need to stop trying to give away our inheritance to Ham. We need to start caring more about our inheritance and less about church gossip. These atrocious scenes, when I say atrocious scenes, I'm talking about all of this reality TV stuff that's going on, all these networks on these apps that's got our people fighting. The ballroom scene and a few others. These apps. Now TikTok done became a place where people just argue and stab each other in the back. But dang, TikTok, you would block my videos all the time. But then I see all these people on here cursing, using profanity, and all my videos is like this. I ain't talking to nobody. I ain't arguing with nobody or nothing. And sometimes I wouldn't even have curse words. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just crazy. We need to start caring more about our inheritance and less about church gossip. These atrocious scenes and celebrity court cases. Every day I see why 2/3 of my people will not make it into the kingdom of heaven. It seems as if the bulk of us only care about the cares of this world. Well, I cared about you. And that's genuine. I cared about you. I loved you enough to tell you the truth, to tell you the truth. And I didn't ask you for a dime. I ain't asked you for a dime. That's real. I never intended on making money from this. That's why my channel is not monetized. The gospel is not supposed to be gatekept. I know some won't believe this, but I had never seen myself doing this. Like I said, this just started out as a simple report. I never seen myself getting in front of the camera to teach. Even if this goes nowhere, I am proud of myself. I'm proud of myself. Even if this goes nowhere, I am proud of myself because I did not give up on me. Even if this goes nowhere, it's better to deal with the failure of trying to do something than to sit and wonder, what if I had done it? I know that my work is not as thrilling as the fighting and degradation of my people on these Zeus / Now That's TV network TV shows, but I feel my people deserve to hear the truth. I want my black people, especially in the LGBTQIA, to know their history beyond slavery. There's a Bayard Rustin, rest in peace, in every generation. They just have to find themselves, and I am thankful that I found me. My mission and my work are truly about something, and even if I have to stand alone, even if I have to stand by myself, I'm still glad that I found me. And I'm not ashamed of the work that I do. I'm not ashamed of who I am. So I'll never forget, like, another one of the reasons why I did this was because I never forgot I would watch, different Hebrew videos and stuff like that. And I never forget, like, it was this gay dude, and he just, he walked past, and they was calling him names and stuff like that, and it's just like, God is going to judge. God is going to do the conviction. And my problem with a lot of the Hebrew brothers is that they push people away sometimes. They push people away. Sometimes I've seen people be interested, not trying to be argumentative, but nobody wants to be belittled or called names and stuff like that, and I understand that, and I know I call people names when I be saying, "'Cause you're dumb," that's why. I'm talking about my family. I ain't talking about you who don't know me, and you know what I'm saying, I don't know you, and I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about my family. And so, but anyway, at any rate, they kind of went in on this guy. He was gay, and they read him the Old Testament and all of that, but I just wanted to, okay, you say this, okay, whatever. Okay, I still want my people to know their history. I still want my people to know where they come from. Because, to be honest, the Most High kept me, yes, but this right here kept me. Because in the gay community, even though I don't have no friends, I don't have no family. They had Pride here in Minneapolis this year. I didn't even go. Out of all the years, I've only been once, and I've been here since 2015. So, because I don't have no friends, I don't do nothing. But I just want people to know their history. I want people to know the truth, because it's a lot of mean people within the LGBTQIA. It is a lot of mean black LGBTQIA, just spitefully mean and jealous hearted, and they can have more than you. They can even have more than you. And because you even attempting You just walking in the building with a smile on your face. They ready to tear you down. That's how that community is. It's like that. That's how they are. Can't communicate with each other unless they fighting. A shame. And it's just, it's bad. You know, but, you know, it is what it is, man. Okay. Hold on. But yeah, it's something mean, you know, but this truth, finishing my thought, this truth, that's what gave me confidence. Because I know it's going to be some enemies out here that watch my video and they going to scratch their head. They going to wonder, like, how? They just like those people, man. They dumb. I am calling them dumb. They dumb too. Because they really just don't believe that God is real. And that God, the Most High is going to show mercy on who the Most High is going to show mercy on. A lot of people don't get that. The Most High is going to show mercy on who the Most High deems is worthy of him showing mercy. What if he did show mercy to a gay person? What you gonna do? What you gonna tell him? Are you even gonna go up and say, no, see, sire, because your word says right here? Are you gonna do that? I don't think you're gonna do that. I don't. Because you're gonna be so happy to make it. If you're seeing that, you're gonna be so happy to make it, you don't care. You just know that you ain't gotta go jump off and jump into that lake. You don't gotta do that. So you don't even care about what you know. That's why it says study to show thyself, not the next person. Not worrying about what the next person is doing. Study to show thyself approved. That's why I did this, because I was doing this to show myself approved. Not worried about nobody else or what they do in their bedroom. I know mine's is dry for about 2 years now, so. And even then, some people ain't gonna even believe that, but guess what? God knows. That's the only one who matters. That's the only one who matters. Because the whole time you be being convicted by somebody and they'll be accusing you. They'll be doing what they're accusing you of. That's how people are. But anyway, now it's time for my favorite part. Now it's time to talk. Lesson over. So you following the same rules that the last chapter of my book, we're following those rules. If you don't know what they are, then you go watch the last chapter. I am not perfect, nor am I better than you. Anyone who truly knows me knows that I tell it like it is. I'm not a talk about you behind your back type of person. I'm not a Christian. And let me tell you, Christians, what makes me so sick with you. Recently, I came across a story about this so-called raggedy ass, soggy ass, baked potato looking ass, fake phony wannabe ass bishop with the first name Chris, whose family text messages were exposed. And from what I heard, everybody in Flint hates Chris. Guy made a joke about it. Everybody hates Chris. Damn. Him, the first lady with her fake ugly ass, and their trick ass, hoe ass daughter got caught talking bad about the members in their own church. The audacity of this bastard. And he has 2 church campuses. So you know he is making good money off of collecting illegal tithes. Tithes are food and not money from people he is supposed to be caring for spiritually. But instead, he is talking about them badly like a dog. He is selling people false hope from a demon in the pulpit on the wrong day, Sunday at that. Because you're supposed to be in church. The Lord's Day, the Sabbath day, is Saturday. Friday sunset to Saturday sunset to be exact. But it's Saturday. So you being in the pulpit on Sunday, that's the wrong day. Your holy convocation is supposed to be on Saturday. All that while talking about the people he is supposed to be leading as if God is so pleased with him. The Most High is the only one that is perfect, but these men want to be exalted, so them and their whack-ass family can look down on others. A lot of them church people are like that. I know it all too well. I come from church people. My family is like this. What I'm describing, that's how I can easily see it. My family is like it. My father is like this. My father is like this Chris dude. That's why me and him don't get along. Fake, 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 fake. Fake and phony. Phony ass church people. Well, he in your face, but got a whole text message thread. My dad, man, I used to sit and watch him. I was a little boy. I used to sit and watch him get home after church on Sunday and talk about his own nephew like a dog. His nephew is no longer here. He's gone. But he used to talk about this man like a dog. Like a dog. I just used to look at him like... And I used to go around the corner to play with his kids. It used to hurt my feelings. It really used to hurt me. Because I played with his kids and I looked at his kids as like... I was, brothers and sisters. Because we always cool. And it really used to hurt me that he used to do that. Would come home and run everybody in the church down. Oh yeah, he owed money. He still ain't paid it back from the last time. What they do with all their money? That's his favorite question. What they do with all their money? All he do is spend it on food. They go out to eat every Sunday. So I know what I'm talking about. And this Chris dude is just like that. Fuck your apology. Tired of you bishops and you so-called church leadership that want to... Just like that fag. You just like that entitled fag. You act like that too. That uppity Negroes, but want to tell you everything what to do. The do as I say, not do as I do. Tired of them. The Most High is the only one that is perfect, but these men want to be exalted so them and their whack-ass family can look down on others. A lot of them church people are like that. I know it all too well. What I can't stand about Christians is how 95% of you do stuff like what the bishop that was exposed did with the text messages, but you will look down on me because I use profanity. I also call people on their bullshit, expose false doctrines in the church like the Sunday deception, tithes being food, but you taken it and changed it into money. And I clown people who start stuff with me instead of turning the other cheek, or that going low when they go high, or going high when they go low bullshit. Speaking of that bullshit ass saying, hey Democrats, how is that working out for you? When you gonna start fighting back? That's y'all problem. Y'all don't know how to fight. I don't know what's. Anyway, my point is 95% of Christians are phony like that, but somehow think that they are the epitome or authority of being holy. A lot of them don't even know the scriptures at all, for real. They don't. They don't. They know what their daddy told them. They know what the seminary theologian people have told them, but they don't know. Just like this sad ass wannabe woman apostle and this church porn scandal. I knew that when I saw her on the King Jive show, she was just looking for her piece of 15 minutes and her cut. She gaslit her way into the situation, appearing as an angel of light, and then the Jezebel showed her true colors. She showed what she really thought about him by throwing his line of work in his face during an argument when she already knew what his line of work was to begin with. When you choose to accept someone as they are, you should not throw their own stones that you chose to accept at them. She never accepted him. She tolerated him, but upheld the DL ugly bishop. There's no way he should have even been allowed to step into the pulpit. So, what, you'll keep the prostitute out the church, but the DL bishop that buys male prostitutes, he's allowed to step into your pulpit and address your congregation? Oh, because he was raising money for you. I knew she was not in the corner of her own church member because these wicked leadership people all back each other. Ladies, let me tell you something about a woman like that. She is no friend to women. She had already said she doesn't believe in exposing. Suppose he didn't put dude on blast, but instead went to her and dealt with the situation her way. She would have swept the whole situation under the rug. She would have never said anything to the wife, leaving her to potentially be exposed to an STD. I'm not saying anyone has an STD because I don't know them. I don't know the ugly DL bishop because he is ugly. I don't know him, and I don't know the other party. I don't know neither one of them, so I'm not saying that they have. I'm not saying that. I don't know them, but it happens every day in situations like this. We have seen it before. Ladies and gentlemen, the church is dead. Saudi. Alright, so I'm going to show y'all what I just read, right? But afterwards, the screen going to go black because I just want y'all to hear, my little commentary. Or maybe it won't. Maybe I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. You can pause the video to read it for yourself. And you see the link right there. And last but not least, I was from my Facebook post recently. I needed something to fill that space, so it's perfect. Alright, so last but not least.
I'm going to do this show. Okay, you were accountable. And you still were able to get up and play the camera.
I'm not a bishop.
It doesn't matter, baby. You still are saved. Just let me finish.
I'm not saved. And stop saying that.
Okay, I got that. So I understand your concept of that. I'm clear about that now. And so when he got up, he raised.
Actually, you're not clear about that because you aren't saved either. And let me Matthew 10, verse 22. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved. That's Christ. Those are the red letters. Christ said that. So you are not saved.
It's the offer. It doesn't look right. Okay, I get that.
None of us are saved.
Yeah. I said the accountability for it not looking right, but that was not the end.
You will not know you are saved until you are into the kingdom. That's how that works.
Girl, please.
Period.
No period.
The intent was never to make him look good and J-Rock look bad.
But that's what you did.
No.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yes.
It makes me look bad. So you say, my position in this J-Rock is
shouldn't have been in it.
Reconciliation looks like, whatever is true and whatever is not, is going to come out. Period.
Okay, so what's the reconciliation? Are you going to call him?
Huh?
Are you?
Well, if you knew that, then you should have stayed out of it from the jump. See, this is why women don't make good leadership. This is why women don't make good leadership. You know, she need to listen to Paul, because she ain't no damn apostle. I don't care what you look at how you look at yourself in the mirror. You can say I'm an apostle, saying this and whatever. I don't care. You ain't no damn apostle. Because you definitely don't have the wisdom of the Most High.
Gonna call him?
I'll meet with you all, but I'm not going to call him because I don't trust that it's going to be recorded. And that's not fair to you or to him. Because whether it's true or false, this is between you and him.
Okay, so when we gonna do the meeting? When we gonna set up the meeting?
You should have stayed out of it.
I leave for Atlanta tomorrow. I got evicted out of my home because they said it was no longer safe for me to live here due to what was going on. So I'm leaving for Atlanta in the morning.
Okay, I'll leave out of town, so it'll have to be next week.
Oh, I won't be back down here to have a meeting with nobody. I don't live here no more. I'm moving to Atlanta.
So you want to do Zoom?
Yeah, a Zoom call is perfect.
Yeah, because it can be recorded on both ends.
Right.
Beginning. And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Let your women keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law. And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home, for it is a shame for women to speak in the church. What came the word of God? What came the word of God out from you, or came it unto you only? Yeah, she need to look at 1 Corinthians, bro. 34 through 36.
And you can record me or not, but you record me, and it's gonna look worse to you. Cause you forgot I know you, right?
Not well enough.
No.
Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. For Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman, being deceived, was in the transgression. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing if they continue in faith and charity and holiness with sobriety. That means not being drunk in the fornication of spiritual fornication with the mother harlot.
Hello. Oh, I know. You don't know me. You know that.
And you don't know scripture.
Who's trying to love you, cover you, and all that. You don't know
Bullshit.
I just, there's no way possible.
About a gaslight now.
There's no way possible.
The love part, all this is completely out of the picture.
J-Rock, you want to talk to me? We're going to talk in truth. What did I tell you on Monday?
Now she about to be
What I
messy.
said to you?
A lot.
Listen to her messy
No.
self.
Let's go back to what's on recorded where everybody could see. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? Because we're going to operate in truth. Because I'm going to show you what real love is. What did I
So, my thing is, so for you to say that, are you suggesting that he has never experienced real love? Because why would you have to say it like that in that tone? But then you want him to watch his tone though, right? My point that I'm making with these videos, people like her and people like that everybody hates Chris, they want to be the authority See, you gotta watch your tone when you speak to them. But they can say whatever they want, how they want to say it. They can make assumptions like what she just did here. I'm sure you real love. No, you ain't. Because you don't even know what real love is. You definitely don't know what the love of Christ is. You don't follow scriptures. Because it's right here. That's why she don't teach Bible. People like that, that's why she don't teach Bible. Because she already knows. She's going against it.
You did not listen. Can we start with one thing before we start with that?
No. You're not going to run this conversation.
That's nasty.
Because I got a pastor.
How is he running the conversation and he asked you, can we start? You already being fierce. You already have an attitude. No. Y'all are. No.
I'm old enough to be your mother. You're not going to run me and hang
But
up
you're
on
not
me.
his mama.
If you want to talk, you're going to
But you're
talk to
not.
me with some respect. And that's period point blank.
But you don't know how to show respect. You don't know how to mind your own
And
business.
you're going to be honest.
But see, the thing is, these phony ass pastors, these phony ass apostles, they don't have to talk to you with respect. And then when they do messy shit, they'll sit up and, that wasn't the intent, and all of this yin yang, all these excuses. She is messy, and she is not an apostle, and she is not a friend to women. Not at all. Talking about something you ain't gonna. And he a fool, because I would have hung up on that bitch right then and there. I would have hung up on her.
So now I'm the person that, never mind, pay that. Okay, so you said last Monday, you said that God, I'm going to cover you until God tells me not to, and I love you, and all these good happy horse things that was said, but then turned around on Sunday and allowed the accuser to be in your pulpit.
Do you want to go through and read the names?
That was no shade, I'll be real. That was a gaggable set.
Now, because I had a few questions. Just a few. Now, my few questions is, why is that church, the DL Bishop's only source of income? With this day and age, see, I understand the men from back in the day, you know what I'm saying? They, I understand that. But with this day and age, when you able to work, and why is this, and I know things are getting bad now, but things have been good. Why is this his only source of income? Because that's what these people do. They come, I'm going to just open up a church. That's how I'm going to make my money off of people. I'm going to just open up a church. That right there, if that man don't got a source of income outside of this church, I would not be at that church. If he don't got a job, then you're going to hear them, because they not going to pull him, because that's his only source of income. Tell his fat, ugly ass to go fill out a job application and get a job. Why don't he work? He got enough health and strength to where he can get fucked. So why don't he work?
That was not a gaggable set. The gaggable set was, I told you to get offline and stop doing all this and let God handle it, and you continue to do what you want to do. The gaggable said is, I told you that whatever the truth is, that you cannot pull that man out of his pulpit. It doesn't matter whether he's innocent or guilty. Now, that's the gaggable set.
That is a gaggable set because it don't matter whether he's innocent or guilty. Did you hear that? So the gaggable set is actually you. Because you will uphold evilness. You'll uphold deceit. And so will his bishop. But that's what y'all do. That's what y'all do in these churches. Y'all do stuff like this, and then you look down on everybody else that's not in your... That's the gaggable set. Fake and phony. But y'all gonna be the first ones that's gonna bust hell wide open. Women apostles, so-called apostles like this.
Now let's dissect that. So why couldn't he be pulled from his pulpit? Because they all back each other. Like a cult. They all back each other. And she thinks she eating with this. You are nothing but a deceptive Jezebel.
To be exact.
Nothing but a cult worshiper.
To be exact.
Just like the Jehovah's Witnesses. The gaggable set is that you thought you was an apostle, but you really don't know shit about the scriptures. The gaggable set is that you thought you was going to come in and be some type of angel of light, but then really you got backlash because people seen that you was nothing but a fucking Jezebel. The gaggable set is you want to bring up him being a prostitute, but yet you allowed a bishop or a pastor or whoever to come up in your pulpit. A bishop or a pastor or whoever he is that pays for prostitutes. So he's just as worse as the prostitute. But you let him come up in your pulpit.
Male prostitutes.
It was a money grab. You knew exactly what was going to go on.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really felt convicted, you would have stopped that right then and there.
Stop that tithe and offering.
But nah, they ain't going to turn down no money.
Mm-mm.
Of course, because that's what they're all about.
Mm-hmm.
Money. Now that's the gag.
Gaggable set is whether it's false or whether it's true that you all are two consenting adults. The gaggable set is that you are a prostitute. The gaggable set is that you are messy. And the gaggable set is that you're trying to take from this man what you didn't have. And it's not going to work.
The gaggable set is that you are just as messy as the both of them. That's the gaggable set.
Mm-hmm.
The so-called apostle, you are just as messy. And guess what? Because you're an apostle, a so-called apostle, a self-proclaimed apostle, because you are no apostle in the eyes of the Most High. You're not. But as a self-proclaimed apostle, you're supposed to know the scriptures. You're supposed to be higher than a bishop. So you shouldn't even be touching this situation. Somebody that's lower on the totem pole should be dealing with this, because you have to remain blameless.
Mm-hmm.
You have to remain blameless. Where's your husband?
Mm.
Where's your husband?
Mm.
I mean, because if you had a husband, maybe he would give you the wisdom, well, baby, maybe you should stay out of this.
Mm-hmm.
But see, you thought you had your thing on a string and was about to collect the chicken wing.
Mm-hmm.
When no, you collected backlash because you've been a phony ass apostle who don't know the scriptures, who can't tell people about their true identity. You one of them backbiting ass Christians. One of them messy ass gossiping Christians. You just as messy. You about to go into all, you know, all the tea about him being at the club and allegedly running. You is a messy Bessie. You sitting there listening to all the gossip. But you supposed to be an apostle. But here you are entertaining gossip, listening to stories about the club life. That is just definitely not holy. Definitely not holy.
Hold on, pause. I'm trying to take what from him that he didn't have.
I'm still talking. I'm going to give you your chance because you've been talking for 2 weeks nonstop.
And obviously he must not got much to extort if he only gave you $100. But he gave that boy $1,000. Well, the man $1,000. So it must not be too much to extort. And don't get me wrong, he's wrong too. They both wrong. But you the one that have the title.
And don't preach.
You the one that have the title. And this is what I be talking about with these preachers. They are fake. They are phony. A lot of them are. The majority of them are fake, phony. They want you to look up to them, want to be exalted, want to be seen as the angel of light in your life. They want to do God's job.
Clock it.
When they don't know jack shit about God, they don't know jack shit about Christ, can't tell you no, can't prove nothing. I bet you this bitch can't even explain how you get 3 days and 3 nights from Friday to Sunday. But she a so-called apostle. I bet you she can't even prove that Noah preached 120 years. I bet you she can't even prove it. Because I've dealt with this so many times from people like her that I already know. She full of shit. She ain't nothing but a Jezebel spirit, man. A Jezebel spirit. His worst mistake was thinking he could trust that bitch. And I said what the fuck I said. Now that's the gag of Osset.
No, the gag of Osset is I told you when you asked me and you called me, because you're not telling this online, when you called me and you said, Pastor, I am so sorry. I did not expect this to go like this. Did you say that to me or did you not?
I absolutely did.
Okay, you absolutely did. And when I said that to you, I said, J-Rock, I know your heart, and I don't feel you did. But you also told me you had never seen that man, and that's a lie. You also told me that you came across his page. That's a lie. You also told me you didn't mean to do this. You didn't mean to do this. That's a lie. You're not in this by.
Right. He's not in this by himself because you in it. So-called apostle, you in it. Because you stepped your wanna-be holy ass up in it so you can get your 15 minutes of fame. So you can get your cut. That was what, about $600, $700? Damn. You sell your members out for about $600, $700? That's messed up.
It's an extortion plan. See, don't play with me because you.
Who told you that I wasn't in this by myself and this is an extortion plan?
It doesn't matter who told me anything.
It do matter because you nor any of them are ever gonna lie on my name. This ain't no extortion plan. I didn't come with this with nobody. No, because I don't do lying. I don't lie on my name. No shade. I don't lie on my name, and we not gonna run with no narratives. You or none of your members are going to turn this around in my face.
Now she been talking about text messages and stuff like that, doing Zoom meetings and stuff. And, if she don't have any proof, unless, instead of, somebody just saying some shit, then she shouldn't even be, she shouldn't even be trying to throw this stuff in his face.
But she trying to go tit for
tat. But my point is, she being a messy ass woman.
Going tit for tat.
She being a messy ass woman. Not fit to lead. Not fit to damn sure call herself no apostle. You are no apostle, lady. What you are is a joke. And I don't care what kind of accolades you got behind your name. You are a fucking joke.
And make this my issue. You allowed that man to come up in your pulpit, and you got the backlash from the world, not J-Rock. I didn't make that decision. You, man, yes, you do got real nasty backlash right now. You and your whole church look stupid as hell, bringing that man in that church. You're not going to sit on my phone and make up no lies and run with no narratives. I didn't try to extort shit. I haven't asked you, him, or nobody else for a dime. Nobody has been asked for a dime. So don't ever say extortion or I'm with somebody else. I don't even have bitches on my side right now. I lost my friends, family, and my home. I lost everything, including my church. So don't say it's no extortion. I've lost more than I've gained anything.
I'm telling you what I've heard. Did I say
that's what she heard.
That is what you just said. That's definitely what you just said.
That's what was told.
Exactly. Now that's what I heard. That's what I was told. No, that's what you believed. Oh, bitch, that's what you believed. You sat up there and you believed that tea because you are not an apostle. You're not an apostle. Paul would not be involved in no stuff like this. Peter, come on, man. Peter would not be involved in no stuff like this. And it don't matter because it's gay or nothing like that. No, it's mess. It's mess. Those men would not be involved in stuff like that. But here you go, inserting yourself, talking about what you heard. That's gossip. You supposed to be an apostle. You know what they say about gossip? Just messy.
So let me say this to you, and I'm gonna tell you again, got your tone with me.
I'm not watching nothing. I don't owe nobody nothing.
Okay, so then stop calling me and stop texting me, asking me questions.
Well, that's what she wanted in the first place.
From the person.
That's what she wanted in the first place. Because, see, she got her little grip. Now she ready to go. She got her little 15 and she got her little $700. So now she ready to go. So she's done with you. Because that's how they are. Not all of them. Not all pastors and stuff like that is like this. But she is.
The majority of them.
I loved for 6 years. I wanted to know why would she allow this man? If I didn't love you, I could have let them read you plum on social media for days now. No shade.
Never did.
I could have let them read you down plum.
Baby, I don't care. That's your life.
It's your life too.
You let a gay man.
No, you not too secure in who you was because you let that man sit up there and raise money for you off of a situation, off the back of a situation that your own church member, quote unquote, who you blocked, was going through. And you know what? There's no shade. If he was getting threats and stuff like that, hey, that is normal protocol. I mean, churches have bylaws and rules too, you know? So, I would have made the same decision. also wouldn't a damn show allow no DL pastor to come in the pulpit. That's where she really went wrong. Inserting herself in this in the first place, because she is a self-proclaimed apostle with the title. You know, because they're all about their titles. Even though they don't know shit about the scriptures. They don't know who they are beyond slavery. Can't tell you nothing about Christ. They teach you about a resurrection Sunday, but can't explain nothing. Can't explain how they get 3 days and 3 nights from Friday to Sunday.
And pay prostitutes, gay prostitutes address your.
That's your life.
You let a gay man that pay prostitutes, gay prostitutes address your pulpit and address the world from your pulpit after canceling his 11 o'clock service. And then if you want me to tell you what they told me, that I've already been told that it was a setup. You let that man get up in the pulpit and lie and say y'all didn't know he was coming. The whole time y'all had the whole presidential security set up outside for the man.
No, the presidential security was set up for you.
Oh, no, it was not. I didn't even get to come into church. I didn't even get to attend church, so why would it be set up for me?
It was to keep you from attending church. I knew that right when I heard it. Like, the security ain't there. And I do believe that they knew he was gonna come too. But the security was mainly to keep him out.
To keep you out.
You have been talking the whole week about you was coming to church.
I've been talking about going to your church and multiple other churches, and I attended every service.
I think they had the security there because they knew he was coming. They knew that bishop was coming. And to keep that man out. That's why.
Exes were coming to our church that you got into it with somebody on Saturday who said they knew what church you went to and they was coming to get you.
Oh, girl, y'all talking about Matsai. Me and Matsai been going back and forth with each other for 6 years. That man got a gunshot wound to his arm. That man just got shot last week in his arm. That boy ain't coming to my church. As many years he was at Friendship that morning. Did he do anything? Nothing at all. He's a member of Friendship. Ran? A fool. No, I didn't run anything.
Now she's antagonizing him. You see the tit for tat? See the mess he has him? She could have ended the conversation a long time ago too. Remind you? Because she is old enough to be his mama, right? So she could have said, you know what? This conversation is going nowhere. You know, I wish you the best with this situation. Godspeed to you. I hung up the phone. But no, she chose to stay on the phone because she's not an apostle.
Listen to her being and this is where it gets messy. Well, it's been getting messy, but this is where she really took off her halo and put on her horns. But if you're an apostle, you're not supposed to do this. And I'm doing this because I'm making a point, man. These Christians will sit up here and they will talk all this yin-yang about people who have different views than them, who might use profanity, who might not speak as properly and eloquently. You know, right? No, but they try to look down on, people who are not looked at as holy. You know, and, you're supposed to not curse and use profanity and, but it's like, y'all will have whole text messages group going in on members. So what, God don't see you either? At least people like me live in our truth. Y'all don't. Y'all like to be secretive. And I understand, no, everything ain't for everybody to see.
Of course.
But I can't stand phony Christians. I have some family that's like this. They'll sit up, you know, they won't say nothing. They'll be mad as hell, but they won't say nothing though. They won't say nothing. But they'll wait for me to say something, you know, so they don't have to be looked at as confrontational
That's
or
what it is.
As the villain, you know. But they'll secretly be, I'm so glad he spoke. I'm so glad he said something. Why don't you? Because you a phony ass Christian. That's why. And it's just like with this lady and that phony ass bishop that shared them text messages. I mean, whose text messages got exposed? Whose family text messages, the group thread
Everybody
that got
hates
exposed,
Chris.
talking about the members in their own church that's giving them money, that they collecting money from.
Dirty. Just like
and
that
it don't
water.
matter, okay, well, the people that they might talk about might not be giving them as much money. They might not pay tithes. Let's say they pay offering. You know, like they put every Sunday, they put $5 in the offering. Or even $3 still. That $3 still count. They could have did something else with that $3 and missed church service at the same time.
They should have.
Something could have happened to them. You know how the story go. My point is, these pastors, these bishops, these so-called apostles, they do messy stuff, right? And they don't understand that they're leadership. They supposed to be leadership. But yet, they doing messy stuff that's harmful to people. Harmful to people, man. This lady is messy, bro. You are no apostle.
Blank coming to
Not
my
at
church. As many years he was at Friendship that morning. Did he do anything? Nothing at all. He's a member of Friendship. Ran? A fool. No, I didn't run anything. That's a fool. No, honey, let me tell you something. I was booked for the club on
Wait a minute. What the apostle know about the club? The apostle know about the tea that's going on in the club? An apostle know about the tea that's going on in the club. Ain't that crazy? And then they will sit up and ask, I wonder how the church became so worldly. Because you sitting up sipping on club tea. And this gossip is not good. Like, yes, nobody should be gossiping, but y'all just don't understand. These people have titles. And then when they get caught red-handed, it's, oh, well, you know, I'm human. The scriptures don't say that. The scriptures say you're supposed to be blameless. You are supposed to be blameless. That's what the scriptures say.
And the scriptures also say that you are supposed to be silent. There's no such thing as a female apostle. You're supposed to sit down, shut up. Not all women, but women like her, yes. Yes.
But all these non-blameless people.
Because Esther, Queen Hadassah, she did great things for our people. And so did Deborah. She was a judge. A female judge. Go to the book of Judges. So, no disrespect to women. But her, no. And women like her, Juanita Bynum, no. That Tiffany Montgomery girl, no. Nope.
One to be pastors, want to be apostles, want to be bishops, want to be deacons, want to open up churches. Why do you need 2 churches? Why do you need a church that costs $5 million? That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. It's all about their ego. It's all about their ego. That is what is going on with these people in the church, even the singers. There's some singers out, it's a family of singers. I love them to death. Love them. I would never doubt their ministry of music. But sometimes, yeah, they sing, the lyrics is about Jesus, but they singing for show. You know, and you can see it. You can see it. But, like I said, Church and God in Christ, which is I call Church of Garbage and Crisis, they are the most corrupt. They are the most corrupt.
The most.
Cult. That's what I call them, a cult.
Because they are.
With them ugly hats.
That the
them
women wear.
Pentecostal and apple of shit. That's what this lady is. Apple of shit. Or an apostolic. Because she gonna star your ass right out of the kingdom. That's what she gonna do. Star you right out of the kingdom. Talking about some, she saved. You ain't saved. Those who endure to the end, the same shall be saved. We ain't at the end yet. You ain't saved. If you were saved, you definitely wouldn't be getting in the midst of drama like this. Because you're an apostle. And there's a hierarchy. The people that's under you are supposed to deal with stuff like this. And even they are not supposed to be that involved. Here you is listening to tea from the clubs and everything else. But you're an apostle. I wonder was Paul listening to what go on in the whorehouses. I wonder did he know about the tea that was going on in the whorehouse. I wonder what he would say.
Saturday. They had to pay to get in the club. They paid me to be at the club. It's a difference.
So you're not running from nobody.
Why would I run from a man in a sling? Why would I? That's the question.
I don't know.
Do I look like I'm going to be running 6'7", 215 pounds from a man that's got a gunshot wound to his arm? I would look less of a man to even put my hands on him.
Oh, okay.
That man said he had an issue with me. I didn't say I had an
So
issue
if you
with
don't
him.
know
It's a
then why
difference
you
when
saying
You don't know who none of these people are, but you can show listen to the gossip though. You don't know who none of these people are, but you can show listen to the gossip, and you're an apostle, a self-proclaimed. And I keep saying you're an apostle because that's what you call yourself. I definitely don't believe that you're an apostle. I know that you're not an apostle.
You don't even teach Bible.
I know that you are a product of the Roman Catholic Church. That's what you are. Just like your comrades. If you are Baptist, guess what? Your religion was started by a white man. Your religion was started by a white man in 1609 named John Smith, first name. But, yeah, he came from the Roman Catholic Church. That's why it was so easy for the National Bitches Convention, you know, at the NBC, to the National Bitches Convention, because that's what those men are, bitches.
Prostitutes, spiritual prostitutes, pick-me energies. Oh yes, pick me. I want the 300,000.
Including Mr. Bryant. Don't try to separate yourself. You just like them. All of y'all are products of the Roman Catholic Church. You stem from the mother harlot.
And do.
That's why it was so easy for the National Bitches Convention to accept that $300,000 check from Target. Because you know what they say? Bitches love money. Bitches need money. Ooh, yeah, girl. Yeah. Call Green, baby. It's money upstairs. No, that's exactly how they are.
I mean, what's wrong with me.
These is the same people that done took tithes. They done took tithes. And they'll say, oh, no. We not under the law. We not under the law. Oh, we don't got to follow that stuff no more. Because we don't got to do that stuff. Oh, no, but the law of tithes is still in effect. The law of tithes is still in effect. Bring the meat into the storehouse. Don't rob God. Tithes is food. It's never been money. Even in Matthew 23 and 23. Those are spices. Tithes has always been food. They had a monetary system back in the day. It was called shekels. It was a coin. And they used talents as well. That was a weight. It was a measurement, a weight. But they didn't pay anything. They didn't give money. No, they have food, wheat, animals, spices. But they'll tell you, oh, you got to get 10% of your income. But then they'll tell me, oh, we ain't under the law. Then why are you making these people give 10% of their income? That's illegal because you done took tithes and twisted it. You twisted the word of God. And you know what the scriptures say about that. But see, I know that the law is still in place because of Matthew 5:17 through 19. I woke up today. Heaven is above me, and the earth is beneath my feet. So I know that not one jot or tittle from the law shall in no wise pass until heaven and earth pass. That's what the scripture says.
Shall do.
That's what it says.
Shall do.
And even when you go to Matthew 22, right, and start at verse 36, when they are asking Christ about the law, and he simplified 613 laws into 2 laws.
And so, if you look at the 10 Commandments, they're 2 stone tablets. The first stone tablet tells you how to love God. Okay? Because that was Christ's first commandment. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy mind. So the first 4 commandments, which is this phony fake apostle that called herself an apostle, and the everybody hates Chris loser, they are breaking both. Well, actually, they're breaking both, but every Sunday they are breaking number 4 on that first stone tablet. So they don't love God either. They don't love God. They don't even know God. They don't even know God. They celebrate paganism. They celebrate worldly holidays. These people are probably the type of people that have trunk or treat at the church. Guarantee you they do. But then we'll be in private messages trying to call somebody a fag. When you look a little light in the loafers yourself. Prime candidate for deal. He's so damn ugly. I don't know. I think that only that ugly ass first lady will want him.
But notice in verse 40 how he says, on these 2 commandments hang all the law and the prophets.
Of course.
Notice how he said that. said that? Because the law is still in effect, dummy. But see, these dummies in these churches, they're going to have your ass going to hell. So while you mad at me and you don't like the way that I talk, just know they're gonna be the ones that's gonna have your ass going to hell.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's real talk. This lady is foolish. She don't know the scriptures. Even if she know the scriptures, she don't believe in them because she definitely don't do them. She don't follow them.
That you're gonna see me, you supposed to approach me, not the other way around. Because I addressed everybody that you were sitting with, and I didn't address you, that does not mean I'm looking for you. That just means, like I said on Facebook, I did not approach you. It's a difference.
Well, I don't know.
Just like I'm gonna beat up a few of your members for trying to run my name in the dirt. I'm not scared of a soul.
Okay, and that's fine. That's all written down, baby. You don't have to be scared of nobody. But what you do have to understand is, since you saw Bible, and I don't preach Bible, because first you said I preach Bible, then you said I'm only going to break down Bible.
You're very kind.
Did you hear what she said? She said she don't preach Bible. That came out of her own mouth. That came out of her own mouth. That she does not preach Bible. Meaning she doesn't preach judgment or sin. So my question is, what the hell are you doing? Like, what are you there for? Why is this silly lady wasting everyone's time? Oh, she must be one of those Isaiah 30 and 10 King James Version apostles, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits, because she's deceptive. I got it. She's deceptive.
Contradicting with what you preach.
No.
Yes.
But why do you want to come to my church then?
This is my church for years, no matter what has happened at this church. This is my church. But
y'all, enough. But I just wanted to. This is what's going on in the church. All these scandals. This is what's been going on in the church. But yet, you have these people that will look down on everybody else because they want to be the ones that's exalted. But then we are finding out that you just as messed up as the rest of us. There's no one perfect but the Father. We all need a Savior. I'm going to pray for her to get a clue. I'm going to pray for her to get a clue. You know? Now, I don't care to talk to her. You know, like I said, let me put my disclaimer. Just because I'm talking fierce about that, don't mean that I want to harm her. Because this ain't that. This ain't that. This ain't that. So, you know, but I'm going to say what I have to say. Because this is what's going on in these churches today. Ooh, that rhyme. I'm getting good. I'm getting good, man. I'm gonna take my tail to bed. It's 3:13 in the morning, y'all, and a brother have to get up because I have to be at work, and I'm about to eat my Wendy's sandwich because, you know, I had some food earlier. I'm about to eat my Wendy's sandwich. I'm about to lay it down. But I love y'all. I love you. Thank you so much for your support, for your time, for your positive energy. Definitely appreciate you for checking out my channel, and any new subscribers, welcome to the welcome to the Savvy Gang. You are now a savage. But yeah, an honorary search, because you know, name stay home. Name got my granddaddy. That's my granddaddy. Dad got my granddaddy blood, or whatever Ike said. But yeah, welcome to the Savvy Gang. And I know, for real, like, I definitely appreciate, you know, the support that I've gained, man, and happy to be able to share this with you, and hopefully it plants itself in your heart, and let Christ do the watering, and as that seed sprouts, it goes up, you know, right up to here. Turn those thinking caps on, so we can all get with the program, because there is a program, and we are seeing it unfold. You know what they say about every kingdom, 250 years. With these cuts and everything that's coming, I would hate to be in a red state, man. But what can you do but pray? That's where we at, you know. I just hope that the next go around, if there is one, all you people that vote independent and, oh, well, you know, she don't got qualities that she wouldn't explain, and I need you to take your head out your ass. That's what I need you to do. And I need you to answer just this one simple question. Who talked about being a dictator, and who did it? That's who you need to vote for. This time around, it was so simple. But it's done. He in office, you know, and the Most High gonna protect me. The Most High gonna cover me. All praises to the Most High. Deuces.